All right, for those of you at home, welcome back. If this is your first game watching with us, welcome to the 2018 MK Battery Conference Cup Series here in beautiful Fort Wayne, Indiana. Your commentators today for this first place game are myself, Jim Carpenter, and my son, Ben Carpenter, both from Tampa, both playing on, well, Benjamin playing on the Tampa Thunder. We're happy to be here and excited for this first game in this round of first place, second place, third place, fourth place. Oh, I'm sorry, we're doing first, third, fifth, and seventh at this time period.
Yep. This is the championship game for the Champions Conference. It's Ball State University versus the DASA Mo Rush. Ball State being comprised of a lot of the former Indy players who have now moved on to college. They started on teams like the Indy Cruisers or the RHI Inferno, and now that they're all in college, they decided to band together and bring back the Ball State team. The DASA Missouri Rush, or the DASA Mo Rush, they've been around for a little while, and they are sponsored by the DASA organization. One of the organizations, like Tampa, like Turnstone, that is under the umbrella of a Disabled Athletes Sports Association.
And it looks like the refs are just getting all their, they're checking the goalposts here, making sure everything's all right, checking the centers. They'll be calling the captains, unless they've already called the captains out to the center. And we're going to have the first march off here shortly.
Yep. Your referees for the day, you have Aaron Wiley and Jonathan Newman running the sidelines, with Mark Jones as the center, and Dave Macy is the fourth official handling the extra time and the scoreboard.
All right, so it looks like they've already done the march out. Looks like there's determination as to who's going to be leading off. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Biogen, MK Batteries, for making this tournament possible. Ben, what do you think we're going to see from these two teams?
DASA tends to be a predominantly passing team. Brady is a pretty remarkable ball handler, so you're going to see him dribble through as much as possible. Lexi here on Ball State University is an absolute tank of a player. She can get through just about anybody with finesse or with power, and I think it's going to be a pretty even match.
There was the kickoff with Brady Kedge kicking to Connor.
Connor Walsh carrying it out of bounds. It is now Ball State's ball. It's going to be Michael to Lexi, two former RHI Inferno players, I believe.
Some nice action there. Ball stays inbounds.
Connor
Lexi kicking it down the court.
Brady doing a good job there, not touching it to give his team a goal kick. So in center for DASA, you will have Brady Kedge basically the entire game. On the left wing, number 22 is Tyler King. And then, again, you got Connor Walsh on the right wing there with Sarah Schweigel in goal. That's the lineup that they tend to stick with through most of their games.
Kick coming back. Lexi taking it down court. Stop there. Almost a spin kick.
You'll see both teams are keeping it pretty spread out, and they're looking for their two predominant players to flip the ball back to them, to either clear it down the court or take a shot in the box. Lexi here with the inbound at the very top of the goal box. This is a pretty prime scoring location. Takes it all the way across. Back to Lexi. Lexi puts it in.
The first goal of this first place game.
It was a pretty clean-cut finish, too. So there you go. You'll see it coming across. Dustin Gilmer, who passes it back to Lexi. It's a pretty simple 1-2, but it requires a lot of finesse on the part of Lexi here just to get back and recover it in time to take the shot. And just like that, though, Brady kicks the ball to Tyler King, and they are off again. Brady moving out to avoid the 2-on-1. Same thing with Michael Rodriguez. Tyler going for a set play. Lexi just trying to keep it in bounds, and it goes in her favor. For those of you that may not be familiar with the rules of power soccer, if two players are sandwiching the ball and going out of bounds, the call will be in the favor of the player who is attempting to keep the ball in bounds. So it is the person who will most likely be driving on the outside of the perimeter.
Boy, I'll tell you what, watching play at this level is like watching any other cup in this tournament. These players are just phenomenal.
Lexi looking to possibly dish it back down. She carries it through. Brady doing a good job not giving her an angle, definitely not attacking too soon. However, it is a corner kick for Ball State. Jim or Dad, what do you think they're going to run here?
I think she's going to go up to the top corner on the far side. I don't know that the Mo Rush have the speed to get up there. And there she goes.
Oh, but it bounces back off of Michael Rodriguez right to Tyler King. Flings it down the court. It's a pretty good move. He's looking for the rebound. He takes it, but just wide of the post.
Gives the gold kick back to Ball State. Boy, that was an unlucky bounce at the top of the box there that brought it all the way back down to the other end here.
That was a good recovery by King as well to get right back on that and to prepare himself for the rebound from the goalie. We've seen some goals go in like that at this tournament. They can be the difference between winning or losing. It's a bit of a hit there between Rodriguez and Kedge, but not going to get called. Sarah Schweigel comes out and just tips it out of bounds as opposed to going one-on-one with Alexi here.
Smart move by Sarah. She saw she didn't have any backup in the box, and she wanted to get it as far away from her goalpost as possible.
Looks like Lexi's going to take the shot between them. Brady, a good giving it and taking it away move. You'll see that a lot, at least in these higher caliber teams, where they will present you a gap that they really want you to shoot for, and then as soon as you go to shoot for it, they will take it away. It's their way of essentially nullifying any offense that you could have. Great save by Kedge.
And again, we see the goalie for Ball State come way out. When they know they don't have any coverage back in the box, they're gonna try to intercept near midcourt and try to get it out of bounds. Really doesn't matter who it's out on. In this case, Ball State was able to recover that ball and bring it back into play. Little high bounce there. Looks like Mark Jones is going to call that as a high bounce. Anything over 18 inches in the game, or if it's a ball that goes up and actually hits a player in any way, shape, or form, could be the arm, could be the elbow, the knee, that'll be called as a set ball or a kick ball.
So Brady and Lexi going one-on-one again. This is going to be a matchup that is present throughout the entire game. It's very unlikely that either of these two players will get pulled out.
Lexi asking for 5 meters. A little bit of clearance from the ball.
Connor Walsh stepping back a little bit. He's going to be their primary jumper, it looks like. Lexi may let that ball go all the way across, and she carries it through. Good dump by Brady, though. Good interference by Walsh to get in there and prevent that pass back. That can be particularly deadly if you are on defense. It's very nice to punch the ball out of your own zone, and a penalty against, or not a penalty, a foul against Brady Kedge. But it is a really great thing to just clear the ball out of your goal box as quickly as possible. However, if you clear it back to one of the other players, it's going to be coming back at you twice as fast most of the time with these strike force chairs.
Looks like everybody getting set.
And just an update for those of you that heard the cheering and screaming. The third place game between the Borp Crushers and the PRHC Chariots is now 1-0 in favor of the PRHC Chariots. Interesting attempt at a give and go there by Ball State. Tyler King stepping up and knocks it out of bounds. Didn't quite get enough of his guard around it to keep it in.
I'll tell you what, this has just been a phenomenal week of power soccer for all the teams, all the players. A little bit of a bump there.
King and Here running into each other. Seemed like maybe a bit of a 50-50 toss-up call going in favor now of Ball State.
Boy, these refs had, I'll tell you what, some of the calls that they've had to make this weekend have just been crazy in their complexity. And sometimes it's not so much as cut and dry as you would like to think it would be. Sometimes it's just a gut instinct, and I know they're doing their best for all the teams, and I know we've been on the receiving end of a few that we've gone, oh, come on. But, you know, it's just the nature of the game. It is such a fluid game, and even sitting up here on the second level here at the Churnstone Arena really gives you a different perspective, and one that I'm sure the referees are happy to have the support of Power Soccer Shop and their video team to go back and look at this tape as well. Lexi intercepting that ball, a nice spin kick down, intercepted and knocked out of bounds. Possession goes back to Ball State.
It was one of those times where if you give Lexi the room on the ball and nobody else around her, she will absolutely punish you for it. And in that case, just a random wild 180 that she knew she didn't have any players around her. There was no risk of danger. She took it, and it ended up in her favor. The worst that could have happened there is it was getting rebounded straight to her.
And Lexi, watching that ball as it was being pushed out of bounds, just stayed inches off of it as it was going out so that they could keep possession of Ball State.
Michael Rodriguez now with the inbound. Lexi in the middle. Not a whole lot of passing lanes open here. It's very, very likely that Rodriguez will just take a shot at Schwegel and Kedge just to see if they can get something going. That is a common tactic that is used. Essentially, if you let the ball go through, it was a great rebound by Kedge, though, up to Walsh.
Oh, that ball didn't have enough on it.
The 2-on-1 against DASA Mo Rush. Walsh just couldn't get out of there in time, and Brady had to come in hot to keep that from being a breakaway turnover down towards their own goal.
And unless you just stumbled blindly upon this channel and this stream, you know that the 2-on-1s are a big part of this game. Two players from the same team can't be within 3 meters of a ball that's in play and active, so they can't be one person picking a player, two people trying to get the ball at the same time. You can have obviously one from each team, but you can't have two players from the same team within 3 meters of an active ball and active play. It's a little bit different for the rules inside the box around the goal. When you talk about the goaltender and one of his own teammates. Lexi here, there for the stop.
Yeah, your goaltender, so long as they are in the box, any part of their chair, it can be just the corner of their guard, they can get into as many 2-on-1s as they want, and that is a defense that we've started to see after the World Cup this past summer. More and more teams are playing their goalie up on the side of the box. It does not look like DASA Mo Rush is doing that, and I do not think it's likely that Ball State will do that either, but essentially they will play their goalie up so that way they can keep players at the top of the box and essentially close off the entire passing lane that you could have for a set play. This is a corner kick, and with this corner kick we would like to thank Biogen for helping sponsor this event. They've been a huge factor in making this a more professional sport and in helping many of the athletes that compete.
Oh, look at that, right back across the box, and there's a goal. Sarah wasn't able to get to it in time, unfortunately. So now at 9 minutes 45 seconds into this first half, you can see Lexi here bringing the kick right up to the far corner and coming right back into the side.
Dustin Gilmer has been extremely accurate feeding those balls back across to that far post. I really think that's going to be a very common shot for him to take. It looks like Schwegel tends to pull off the post a little bit more. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try that one more time, and if they block it, maybe he'll pick a different shot. But for right now, he has no need to. And it's unique. He is the person, I believe, who has scored both of their goals, or has at least been a major factor in both of those goals. And he is not playing in a Strikeforce chair. He's playing in a P200.
Oh, my gosh.
Definitely attests to his talent.
Oh, for sure, because, you know, I was actually going to make the statement that it's incredible to see everybody in these Strikeforce chairs and what a difference they've made to the sport. But, yeah, his ability in that chair is just outstanding.
All right, this is DASA's first true set play for a goal-scoring opportunity here. Brady's taking the middle. Connor Walsh is doing the inbound, and then you got Tyler King on the far side. He's going straight across, it looks like. Kedge tried to intercept it, flicks it back towards his own goal. Lexi is hot on his tail and will turn him down the court some, but Brady brings it back. You see Walsh is rotating in behind him, and King is parked extremely far upfield waiting for it. Ball State is doing a little bit of a different rotation. They are swooping in from behind Lexi to cover her, not playing their wing as high up. Rodriguez trying to get out of there, and now Lexi is one-on-one with Kedge and the goalie.
Fight continues into the corner. If the ball goes out over the back line on the offensive team, then it becomes a goal kick where the defensive team becomes offense, gets the ball's possession at the top of their box. If the ball goes out anywhere on the side, then obviously whatever team it went out on, it belongs to the other team. So the goal is if you are in the far side of the court, you're trying to get that ball out on the sideline so that if the other team has to bring it back in, you're not giving them that extra 5 meters from the back line. Lexi, a nice pass across the box. Ball coming in.
Good save by Schwegel, coming around Kedge.
Nice stop by number 13 there, too. That can get a little dangerous at times, but it looked like he had great control.
Yeah, and a great pass by Brady Kedge. Oh, Tyler King backing up into Lexi. That will be a foul on him. That is the one form of contact that is extremely consistently called, and that is backing into another player, be it intentionally or unintentionally. Even if you just nudge him a little bit, that will 9 times out of 10 be called because it is considered extremely dangerous. Good move by King to knock it out on Lexi. It is now DASA's ball coming out of their own end. We've not seen a whole lot of offense from the Missouri Rush, but it looks like they may get firing on all cylinders here shortly.
Nice pass out to center. Lexi's there to steal it. Coming back in.
Kedge not giving her the angle to turn him into the box. However, she's looking for the pass back right now. She's a player who can push it over the line and has the skills to manipulate her chair and the defense's chair to push it over the line, but she has much more finesse. And so you will see her go and try to pass the ball as much as she possibly can to her teammates, really showing full faith in her team. And that says a lot about that entire Ball State team as a whole. You do see that with the Missouri Rush as well, though we haven't really had much of a chance to see them get rolling. They are now pulling Tyler King and substituting in, I believe, Miles Schaefer. Definitely the youngest player on their team, and looks like he's the youngest player in the game right now.
They're set up on the side with Ball State 5 meters out.
Ball State giving them plenty of room, too.
Oh, bad bounce there off the corner of the guard, going back out of bounds. Possession goes back to Mo Rush. It's been rather quiet on the rest of the courts. We have a 1-1 tie in the 7th place game between Minnesota Northern Lights and the Atlanta Sting.
That game is approaching the 18-minute mark. Right now you've got Walsh and Rodriguez, and Walsh couldn't get there in time to keep it in bounds. It was the right idea to flick it out towards the sideline. You'll see a lot of the players that are extremely adept at ball handling will always try to take it towards the sideline as opposed to the middle of the court, just to give their own players more spacing. Great interception by Kedge. Walsh trying to get around it. Kedge miscommunicating with him.
2-on-1, but nope, that's called off because of...
Advantage is called by Mark Jones. There's Schaefer getting involved, and he wins the ball for the Mo Rush.
That was a good call. That was a good call. That was definitely Ball State that had that ball right as it was going out. Nice pass to center.
Kedge flicks it off of his tire and is able to keep it in just barely. Good save by here.
There's a 2-on-1.
Walsh jumping the gun a little bit to get in there, although it's not a horrible place to have a 2-on-1, namely because Lexi was going to swing that ball down the court. She wound up for it. You could kind of see it in her eyes. She was ready.
Nice pass around here.
Nice. Schaefer tipping it in. Schaefer and Rodriguez
nice
again.
Schaefer
flicking it. He's going after it some more. Kedge is waiting up at the top of the box. They're now in their formation. And Rodriguez takes it out for a corner kick for the Mo Rush.
With this corner kick, once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, MK Battery and Biogen. Looks like he's going to take it in.
Kedge,
high at the top of the corner.
Yeah, Kedge taking it in this time as opposed to Walsh. You can see Schaefer's parked and ready to swing it towards the net. Goes over. Walsh takes the shot,
nice shot.
And it's an air ball. It's a close call on that one, but that was the right idea. That was put right in the sweet spot for Walsh to pound it between Lexi and Kelby Smith.
So this is going to be a set ball. Both players attacking at the top of the box.
Both of them wanting to go towards the same side. And Lexi keeping it in. It is called in favor of Ball State by Jonathan Newman.
Brady Kedge really liking that sideline.
Good tip by Lexi. She's just going to chase it. Gets around it. Kedge is there first, though, so he has the advantage in the redirection battle. And he gets it around her. However, she cuts the corner a little bit tighter and is able to keep it in bounds. That is pretty remarkable right there, driving on the rug for the score table. Walsh doing everything he can to get back and stop it. Here, just wanting to keep him down in that corner. You'll see Rodriguez is parked a little bit above the top of the box, waiting for that pass back. Dustin Gilmer is sitting open on the far wing. And everybody from DASA is stacked diagonally. So Walsh is in the corner, Kedge is above the center of the box, and Schaefer is way down the court.
Mo Rush really is hoping, I'm sure, to get more offensive opportunities in this game. Seems like the better part of this entire half they've been playing on their end. They've really got to get the ball down into the far side so they can get some scoring opportunities. And here's a good example of that as Connor Walsh takes the ball down.
Some good passing between Walsh and Kedge there to keep that ball in bounds. They were playing really, really close to a 2-on-1. However, now it is a side kick for the DASA Mo Rush. It's going to go to Walsh again, just judging by how low they have Schaefer sitting. Yep, Walsh takes it off of his back tire. Kedge, though, is just going to let it go because it was off of Lexi.
Boy, that was a rough bounce there. Had he been able to get some speed on that, I think that would have been hard to stop.
Again, it looks like they're going to go for a similar play.
Now watch Hare. I have a feeling she's going to be jumping up on this one.
Yeah, she's going to sell it a little bit earlier. She doesn't necessarily have to just because of how low Schaefer is sitting, but she's, again, showing him that gap and then going to take it away, hopefully right before he kicks it and it doesn't go through. He takes the shot right to her, right where she wanted it.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Kedge trying to push it through, though. Got knocked out. It was a good save by Kelby Smith. He covered that post, moved it out of position by about a good 1.5 feet. But that's what you want to see is in your goalkeeper. You want them to be extremely aggressive.
It is very easy to take your goalies for granted in power soccer because it either seems like they're playing for the full 40 or they're not being called upon much at all. But boy, when you need them, you're grateful that they're there, that's for sure. Lexi bringing the ball back down.
Tracing it back across. Good turn on it, though. She pulls off. Kedge oversteers on the ball. And Sarah saves it from being pushed in. Like I said, Lexi is much more of a finesse player, but she is not afraid to get in there and to push one over the line, especially in an 0-2 game near the end of the first half. See just Dustin Gilmer parked up top again. Ball's going to Michael Rodriguez, though. It's mishit. Walsh is going for it now. You've got Gilmer and Rodriguez ahead of Lexi here, so one of them is going to have to get in the box, it looks like. It's going to be Rodriguez.
Schaefer's open on the far side, not able to get it over to him.
Walsh just didn't have enough on that peel back. He didn't get position on it. Usually what you want to do when you're going down into that corner is to give yourself a little bit of space on the ball and bait whoever it is, in this case it would have been Rodriguez, into attacking towards you so you can pass it. Looked like all of DASA, Mo Rush was ready for that, but Walsh didn't execute. Good pass by Kedge, though, to Schaefer.
Looks like we're just about to the end of this half. There we go, teams are being called over. So at the end of this first half, in the first place for the Champions Cup between DASA and Ball State, we've got Ball State with 2, DASA Mo Rush, I was correct. DASA with 0. Other games that are going on right now. On our second court, we've got the Borp Crushers and the PRHC Chariots. PRHC Chariots is still winning.
And their halftime was just called, it looks like. And in the Minnesota Northern Lights Atlanta Sting game, their halftime has also been called, and that is tied at 1-1.
So we're going to take a quick break here as the teams rest and get some words with their coaches. We'll be back shortly here at this 2018 Conference Cup Tournament. And thanks for joining us. We'll be right back. And we're back from the dirigible floating over the 2018 Conference Cup Series here at Fort Wayne at the Turnstone Center. Just kidding, of course. We're up here on the second floor looking down at the game as we start the second half of this first place Champions Cup tournament between the Ball State University and the Missouri Rush. Ben, what do you think we're going to see from this period?
I think you're going to see Missouri play a lot more desperate than they were in that first half, and I think you're going to see Ball State maybe be a little bit more conservative. They've got a 2-0 lead. They were pretty dominant in that first half. Not a whole lot of opportunities for DASA. I think maybe 2 set plays the entire half. And, I think Lexi's team is going to be looking to get 1 goal very, very quickly here just to kind of put Missouri back down a peg. Missouri's going to be coming out hard, though, maybe hitting a little bit harder. Usually you see that with teams that are down, and especially if they're down at the half by more than a goal, they're going to play desperate. And they really, really want this. This is, I believe, the first trip to the championship for Ball State, and the second or third time for the DASA Mo Rush. They have moved up to the Premier Conference a few times, and then they get knocked down a peg and come back to the Champions Conference. However, both of these teams are going to be up in Premier next year.
So that stoppage you saw in the box was a foul called on Lexi Hare as she ran into the side of the chair.
Rodriguez taking Schaefer down the side of the box. Schaefer needs to pull off to avoid a 3 in the box. That is another power soccer specific rule. You are not allowed in your own goal box to have 3 players, and that does include your goalie. If not, it is a free kick at the top of the box.
Looks like a 2-on-1. Yep, is called by Mark Jones.
Didn't know if he was going to call the 2-on-1 or the contact on that. Well, the 2-on-1, I guess, did occur first. Rodriguez now ready to take the shot. Hare pulling back just to give him an option to pass to in case he doesn't want to take the shot. Goes to Hare. Back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez is going to streak down to the side of the box here.
Soft little tap there.
Nice.
Little contact there. A lot of contact there.
Rodriguez trying to drive the ball through Sarah Schwegel. not possible when you don't have the ball between you. Kind of pinged back behind him. The contact with Kedge was mostly incidental. That was mostly intentional. DASA, though, is going to need to get out of their own end here pretty soon if they want to have any chance.
Lexi Hare sneaking in there.
See Dustin Gilmer already getting ready in the offensive position. Sarah Schwegel pops it out. Schaefer just lets it go out of bounds. That's a pretty good call. Were he to save it, he'd be stuck in a one-sided or in a one-on-one battle against Hare facing his own goal, which is not a position that you want to be in. Walsh trying to block Rodriguez. Rodriguez also jockeying for position. Lexi takes a shot, hits the side of the court, and it is rebounded by Kedge all the way down and off to the side of the box.
Lucky break there, actually, for Mo Rush, because even though it did go out on them, even though possession still belongs to Ball State, just to have it on the far end of the court is a little breathing room, a little opportunity to regroup and possibly get the ball back. 2-on-1 call by Mark Jones. Possession still belongs to Ball State.
Is a good fake by Lexi Hare. The closest thing I can associate with that for anybody that's not familiar with power soccer would be a toe drag in hockey. Basically just slowing down and faking the other player out to think that you're going to pass it when you're not. And she was able to get all the way around Schaefer. Schaefer, though, with a great pass up to Walsh. Walsh flicking it back to Kedge. This is the offense that DASA likes to run. Walsh trying to get a little bit of a ping off of Rodriguez down towards Rodriguez's goal. Not going to happen, though. Hare swoops in and takes it. Everybody's a little bit out of position, it seems like, now.
You can tell the conversation for Mo Rush at halftime was spread it out. Make the game about passing and less about ball handling. Clearly, they've got a great passing game. They just need to have the opportunity to do it, and it's easy to get pulled into those opportunities, especially with Hare, who's such a dynamic and such a one-on-one player. It's hard to find the way to get out of those situations, but you just have to tell Lexi that I know you like barbecue, but we're more rice and beans, and that's a great hit.
It was called for being too close, though, to Brady Kedge. Lexi swung a little bit too quickly. But I guess it didn't get called.
Play not stop. The sideline ref made a recommendation. Mark Jones said, let's play on.
Kedge getting a good position on the front of Lexi's guard to push through. and he gets the call in his favor. Just to update you on the other scores going on in the other games, the 7th place game between the Minnesota Northern Lights and the Atlanta Sting is tied 1-1. The Lakeshore Power versus NEP Wildcats is 2-0 in favor of the Wildcats, and the Borp Crushers versus the PRHC Chariots is
nice.
2-0 in favor of the Chariots. That was a great inbound play by DASA, trying to really open the game up a little bit more, taking more longer shots.
Didn't mean to step on you there, Ben. I always get excited when the ball goes across the top of the box.
Schaefer doing a good job to force Hare back in. Kedge getting a little turned around, though. Lexi Hare with a great flip to Dustin Gilmer. Sarah Schwagel pops it out to Schaefer. Schaefer flicks it down the court. Ooh, good recovery by Kedge on that. Goes off of Lexi in favor of the Mo Rush. DASA taking a few more chances now, it seems like. Something that they needed to do. They played that first half very, very safe.
Well, I think you said the key word there earlier, Ben, and that is, they needed to be desperate. They need to show that this is the last game in this tournament for them, and it's for all of the marbles. It's for the...
it is for the gold. They are actually going for the gold with this game.
That's right.
Really, at this point, it is just that championship title. They are both moving up a conference next year, which is a goal that every Champions Cup team has at the beginning of the season and all through nationals. Now they've attained that goal, and it is purely to become the best in this cup.
So what's the next cup up for them, Ben?
The next cup up is going to be the Premier Cup, which will be shown a little bit later on. That was a 2-on-1 against Ball State. It's a good job by DASA. The more that they're getting Ball State moving around, and the more that they're able to pull Lexi out of the play, the better their opportunities are. Schwagel coming out of the box, not getting back in time to avoid the 2-on-1. Newman calling the 2-on-1. Mark Jones letting play continue.
Mark and Jonathan going to have a conversation here where Jonathan saw that 2-on-1 at the top of the box.
It would be a tough one to call. Oh, he did call it, though. Even though it was already going to be in favor of Ball State, calls it up to the top. This would technically be, I guess, more or less a free kick. This is really the only time that you do see free kicks, this and 3 in the box. And this free kick is brought to you by MK Battery. They're one of the event sponsors.
So, Ben, is this a direct or an indirect?
This is going to be an indirect kick. So anything that is a non-contact foul, at least a general rule of thumb for anyone playing, if it's a non-contact foul, it is an indirect kick, meaning you cannot kick it straight into the goal until it touches another player. If you do kick it over the goal line, and you'll see it happen where somebody will take a shot expecting the defense to maybe tip it into their own goal, if you do that, it is just going to be a goal kick for the other team.
So that was clearly a 2-on-1, but the possession stayed with Mo Rush.
Walsh coming in with a great push and a great flick on Rodriguez. Rodriguez getting around it. The Rush not really talking about who's going for what and when. Rodriguez gets on the outside, though, so the call is in his favor. See, Walsh is playing an extremely high defensive position. He's going to be the one attacking Lexi and Rodriguez. And he does. However, Hare gets ahead of him, goes straight back to Brady. His bounce rebounds off of Lexi, and Lexi starts taking him down the court.
Schaefer drove nicely out of that 2-on-1 opportunity.
DASA settling back into defense again. Lexi carrying it once more into the box. Not seeing a lot of passing from Ball State. They're just relying on their one-on-one game. Again, not a lot of hitting, not necessarily a lot of pushing, but just a lot of finesse and skill. An update on the Borp Crushers versus PRHC Chariots. That game is now 1-2 in favor of the Chariots. Lexi trying to get out off of Kedge. Kedge does a great job maneuvering out of the way. And it is now DASA's turn to move the ball out of their end.
Nice soft kick in.
Kedge takes it all the way around Rodriguez. He's going to carry Rodriguez as far down the court as he can.
Rodriguez stops to avoid that 2-on-1. Lexi with a nice turnaround bump.
That was the right idea from DASA, just not enough power on that pass from Kedge.
In our 5th place game currently going on, the NEP Wildcats are beating Lakeshore Power 2-0.
Schaefer trying to get there in time to save it, couldn't. So it is now Ball State's ball. This has been a little bit more even than it was before. Schaefer coming off, bringing back in Tyler King. their starting wing from the first half.
We're definitely seeing a lot more ball movement in this half than I think that was expected. All the way around. A lot more passing.
DASA has about 10 minutes to make something happen here. If they can get one goal, I think they may be able to open the floodgates a little bit. Hare does keep her composure pretty well, though. King trying to push it over. Both players stopping before it reaches the end line. King trying to get into a position to flick it back to Kedge. Hare not really giving him any room on the ball, and that's something that you want as a defensive player. You do not want to give the offense any room to spin that ball back. Hare doing a good job just clearing it out as opposed to going one-on-one with Kedge. It is now a side piece for DASA Mo Rush. Side set piece. Sorry, Joe.
A little discussion about who's going to be bringing it in. This is a prime scoring opportunity. Being so far up at the top of the box, the ability to go across.
King trying to tip it through and driving over. Lexi looked to be all the way over the line, which would have actually been a red card and a goal, but she kept it in just enough. Great pass by Walsh. Walsh down to King. King tries to thread the needle. Lexi slams into Kelby Smith to try to stop it. King is definitely going to try to push one in. They just need one goal for DASA right now. King trying to let Hare and Smith work the ball out a little bit there. Gets it around. Lexi follows. And King pushes it out. Oh, but it is going to be a corner kick. Guess King did not touch it before it went out.
That was surprising. From up here, it looked like that was clearly going to be Ball State's ball.
That was some great chair control then by King to make sure he did not touch that, but still shielded Lexi off of that ball.
For sure.
It's a fine line you walk there with impeding.
So this set play is going to be up to the middle. Oh, great movement by the goalie.
Well, swung at it, hoping to get a rebound. Would have been a pretty dangerous ball to hit because it was bouncing. Now Hare is taking Kedge all the way down the court. Kedge is attempting just to keep her out of the goal box. And again, Ball State now is maybe looking to get a passing pattern going. Lexi's not seeing something that she wants, though.
Nice
She's
tap.
staying on it. Nice rebound by Kedge, all the way up to King.
Hopefully King will be able to pass this around. He just loses the ball off of the front of his guard. This is going to be a goal kick for Ball State.
He got a little bit too much speed off of that reception on that pass. He needed to open his guard up maybe just a little bit more to catch it, and as soon as he brings it under control, he was one-on-one with the goalie. It's an unfortunate occurrence for DASA.
And with 8 minutes left, we'd once again like to thank our sponsors here, Biogen and MK Battery, for helping us have this wonderful, wonderful tournament for the sport of power soccer. Lexi bringing the ball, just getting over midcourt now.
Kedge and Hare again fighting with each other for the ball. Good move by Kedge, though. It's out on Lexi. DASA at this point just needs possession. If they can get possession, they can work the ball down and hopefully get a goal.
Nice spin kick, bringing it in.
King takes it straight to Rodriguez, though, and out of bounds in an attempt to get it to Walsh. There's, again, a clever play idea, trying to go big or go home, essentially, and getting it to Kedge, but wasn't quite on target where it needed to be.
Rodriguez bringing the ball in to Hare, center court, takes it off the side of her guard, going up. Kedge there with the stop. Lexi able to maneuver around him, coming up to the side, top corner of the box.
Gilmer just missing that 2-on-1 there. You are allowed to drive completely out of bounds to get out of the way of the ball or to avoid a 2-on-1. That is something that you see a lot of.
Kilmer now again had an opportunity there actually to stop that ball, bring it in, but he saw it was going out on Mo Rush, so he decided to step aside.
Yeah, Schwegel there trying to get control of it, maybe just to move it out of the box a little bit more. Oh, and a great save by the DASA Mo Rush and a great shot by Michael Rodriguez. That couldn't have been any closer to going in. And here you go on the replay, I believe. Lexi swings it, great shot by Rodriguez, just clips off the back end of Kedge and the back end of Schwegel.
I'll tell you what, this is a game of inches, and that was a perfect example of that.
And Kelby Smith doing a good job just rushing straight out of the box, prevented that advance from going anywhere beyond half court. King was there for the rebound, but and it nicks off of Lexi Hare. It is now going to be a set play for the DASA Mo Rush. They have to capitalize on this. They have about 6 minutes left in this game. King takes a swing across, Goes back to Walsh. Walsh tries to take it behind Hare, but Hare does a good job just sticking her right tire out enough to catch it.
If King had the opportunity, boy, that would have been a nice, and that was an unfortunate high bounce there.
It would have been very similar to the first goal that Ball State scored, bringing it back across the box for your inbounder to finish it. Seems like they're making the right choices. They're just maybe not executing the way that they're expecting to. Walsh trying to get another set play off of Hare. Hare, though, not having it. Walsh flicking it towards his own goal. Kedge is there, and it bounces off of Lexi Hare, and it is now the DASA ball. They're finally getting possession, but the clock is running out for DASA Mo Rush. Right idea by Connor Walsh, getting it all the way across. Rodriguez just got a piece of it, and it went out off of the side. Now, if you are defending this play as DASA Mo Rush, this is the perfect position to have them in. This is as close to their own goal line as you can get them.
Ball comes up to Lexi. Nice stop there. Able to push it back. Trying to capitalize on a 2-on-1, but Ball State was a little bit smarter than that. They knew to stay outside of that 3-meter box.
Walsh getting just enough on it to bring it into Lexi Hare's chair. Now it is Brady Kedge trying to save it. It had nicked off of his guard before that, and it is now the Ball State's possession.
Quick update on our second court. The Minnesota Northern Lights are tied and going into overtime with the Atlanta Sting for 7th place. And we still have about 4 minutes left here in this exciting game between DASA Mo Rush and Ball State University.
Yep, and the Lakeshore Power are currently losing 1-2 against the NEP Wildcats in the 5th place game. And the Borp Crushers game versus the PRHC Chariots is still 1-2 in favor of the Chariots for 3rd place. This is the championship game for the Champions Conference Cup.
Nice pass down the sideline.
Kedge gets there. Not enough on it, though, to give it to King. Walsh on a good recovery. Nobody there to receive it, though, so it's Walsh again. Lexi with a great flick back. Kedge takes it behind Lexi, who just tips it. Good save by Kelby Smith there to keep that from going out for a goal kick. He saw it tipped off of Lexi.
Interesting call by Jonathan Newman. It looked like Lexi was trying to keep that in, but Jonathan saw the ball as belonging to Mo Rush.
They can capitalize on it here. They stand a pretty good chance. Kings, though, his pass is too low. Lexi is able to make a very, very easy save on that. One thing I'm noticing about Ball State's defense on this, and it's something that you always want to take note of as an offensive team, is that Ball State is leaving the entire top of the box open. So with Lexi being as aggressive as she is, and as she needs to be, you have a lot of room on the top of the box to open up for some passing, which is DASA's strength. There's a 2-on-1 between Brady Kedge and Tyler King.
Well, and I think you bring up another good point too, Ben, and that is that with Lexi being as aggressive as she is, they've continued to pass across the top of the box. I think it would be high time for them to start trying to shoot behind her and look for that opportunity, which she's not expecting, which is to take advantage of her jumping for that high ball.
Yeah, so far they've only tried to shoot that on the secondary shot, but not just straight off the kick, which I think may be something that they could use to their advantage. It was an unfortunate 2-on-1 called against the Mo Rush. They need to keep the ball in Ball State's side of the court. You can see Brady's just trying to pop it through a hole, trying to find another player. Tyler King is getting involved now, going up against Dustin Gilmer. Gilmer doing a great job of just letting King tap that out of bounds.
And Tyler King did make the right call there. When he saw he wasn't going to get any more real estate on that, he took the better part of valor and said, we're going to get it out as high to the top of the box as we can. Still dangerous position when you're dealing with a team like Ball State, but a good idea.
That appears to be a corner kick in favor of Ball State University. And again, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Biogen, for helping us make this tournament a possibility.
Lexi taking a kick from the top of the corner.
Goes straight across to Gilmer. Gilmer tries to shoot between Kedge and Schwegel, and it is a 2-on-1 against Ball State.
Yeah, they got a little over-anxious there. We're in the final seconds on one of our other courts here, folks. The Borp Crushers against PRHC Chariots. And unless much more happens in that game, the Chariots are going to take home 3rd place.
And in the 5th place game, that is actually currently tied between the Lakeshore Power and the NEP Wildcats. And time for that game should be approaching soon as well, so they will likely go into overtime. This game here, though, I think is going to end in favor of Ball State. There's not a whole lot of time left for DASA to make any moves. Good job by Brady, though, letting that ball go through. Now Brady versus Rodriguez. Brady carrying it, waiting for his teammates. Great pass across. Walsh passes it back to Kedge, but Kedge was not quite ready.
It was a little too lateral on that pass. He didn't get any momentum going down the court.
It was the right idea by Gilmer just to get a shot on goal. And now it is Lexi versus Sarah. King coming in to try to play defense with Sarah Schwegel. And Lexi at this point, I think, really just trying to bide her time. They don't need to do anything crazy. She just needs to keep the ball out of her end and out of her box.
Well, you say that, but I know all of you soccer players want that one extra goal.
Oh, it's great to have that one extra goal. But in place games, goal differential doesn't really count.
No.
Lexi with a great move, but that is it for the game. The Ball State University, I believe Cardinals, take the Champions Conference Championship 2-0 over the DASA Mo Rush.
A very exciting game, and I'd like to thank Power Soccer Shop again for this opportunity to broadcast these games and live stream. What a wonderful, wonderful tool to be able to use so that all you folks at home can see these games, and we all have the opportunity to see them. Again, thanks to Biogen and MK Battery for making this tournament possible, and we will see you in future games. Thanks again from Ben and Jim Carpenter, and congratulations to Ball State.